Have you ever had something go so wrong, so spectacularly sideways, that you were absolutely certain your life was over? Maybe you didn't get the job you were convinced was your dream job. Maybe a relationship you poured your heart and soul into ended abruptly. Or maybe a project you worked on for months just completely fell apart. In that moment, it feels like the universe has a personal vendetta against you. It's that raw, gut-wrenching feeling of failure, of rejection, of hitting a wall so hard you see stars. But then, something strange happens. Weeks, months, or even years later, you look back on that very moment, that supposed catastrophe, and you realize it was the best thing that could have ever happened to you. This is the phenomenon of the blessing in disguise. It's one of the most baffling, uncomfortable, and ultimately profound experiences of being human. It's like being dragged, kicking and screaming, off a path you were dead set on, only to look back and see you were marching straight towards a cliff edge. We have this tendency to catastrophize. When a door slams shut in our face, our immediate thought isn't, "Oh, maybe there's another door." It's, "The entire house is on fire." We see rejection as a final verdict on our worth or our plan. But what if it's not? What if that no, that obstacle, that seemingly insurmountable problem isn't the end of your story? What if it's just the plot twist? The moment the narrative takes an unexpected and ultimately more interesting turn. Think about it like this. You're building a house. You've got the blueprints, you've picked the perfect spot, and you're ready to pour the foundation. But then a huge storm comes and floods the entire area. It's a disaster. Your plans are ruined. But after the water recedes, an expert comes by and tells you the ground you chose was completely unstable. If you had built there, the whole house would have eventually collapsed. The storm, the disaster, actually saved you from a much bigger, more devastating failure down the line. Sometimes, what feels like bad luck is actually the universe doing you a massive favor, saving you from building your future on shaky ground. The first stage of this whole process is the struggle. It's the pain, the frustration, the anger. It's that feeling of being completely lost. And it's so important to acknowledge that this part is real. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to mourn the plan you had, the future you envisioned. Pretending you're fine when you're not doesn't help anyone, least of all you. The struggle is where the real work begins, even if it just feels like you're treading water. You're learning what it feels like to be knocked down, and that, in itself, is a lesson. Then comes the pivot. This is the crucial turning point. The pivot happens when you start to let go of your ego. Our ego is what tells us our original plan was the only plan, the best plan, and that any deviation is a failure. It's what whispers, "You weren't good enough," or "You should have tried harder." But when we can quiet that voice, something amazing happens. We gain clarity. By accepting that plan A is no longer on the table, we suddenly have the mental and emotional space to see that plan B, C, or even plan Z might exist. And often, these new paths are ones we never would have considered. Paths that are far better suited to who we are and what we truly want. The pivot isn't about giving up. It's about getting smarter. It's about being flexible and resilient enough to adapt to the reality of the situation, not the fantasy you had in your head. And finally, there's the lesson. This is where the magic really solidifies. Hardship has a way of forcing us to slow down. When we're cruising along full speed ahead with our perfect plan, we often miss the details. We don't see the warning signs, the cracks in the foundation, or the beautiful scenery just off the main road. But when we hit a roadblock, we're forced to stop. We have to get out of the car, look around, and actually assess the landscape. In that pause, we learn things about ourselves, about our goals, and about the world that we would have completely missed otherwise. We develop new skills, discover hidden strengths, and forge a deeper sense of resilience. It's so easy to sit here and say everything happens for a reason when you on the other side of the crisis. Hindsight is always 20/20ths. when you're looking back from a place of success and happiness. You can connect the dots and see how the failure led you to where you are. But I want to talk to those of you who are in it right now. The ones who are in the middle of the losing moment. The ones who feel like the house is burning down around them. To you, I want to say this. It's okay. It's okay to be frustrated, to be sad, to be angry. You don't have to find the silver lining today. You don't have to be a hero. You do need to slap a coat of toxic positivity on a genuinely difficult situation and pretend it's all for the best. Your only job right now is to breathe. Your only job is to get through this day, and then, tomorrow, to get through the next one. You don't have to feel inspired. You just have to keep showing up for yourself. That blessing in disguise will reveal itself in its own time. You can't force it. You can't rush it. But it will come. The pain you're feeling now is temporary. The setback is not a full stop. It's a comma. It's a pause before the next, even better, chapter. So be kind to yourself in the struggle. Be open in the pivot. And trust that the lesson is on its way. One day, you will look back on this exact moment, not with pain, but with a strange sense of gratitude. You'll see that the closed door wasn't a rejection, but a redirection. It was the universe pushing you toward something far greater than you could have ever planned for yourself. Keep going. You're closer than you think to seeing the blessing. Thanks for watching.